sex traffickers. They use them for forced child labor. They sell them to wealthy white people. In San Salvador, the night of the shooting, I pleaded with la policía to at least, please call an ambulance. Pero respondió, ¿para qué vamos a gastar tiempo y feria? Son animales. And that morning, September lawns and bare trees studied the crime scene to understand what imbues the dawn with sorrow, darkening it with the feeling that it is harder to have hope, that the violence will never end. Me voy al norte. Joaquin beside me, we walk for weeks through the foothills, where my heart flares its nostrils, puffing like 100-year-old cedar, rooted in desert granites, counseling me in patience, and the dirt and the stones witness, and the stones ask, and the stones take, and the stones tell. Lay on us, we will absorb your sadness, Sophia. I have an overwhelming need to sit on a boulder and weep. For my marido, for me, for my hijito Joaquin, so many children in San Salvador lying in the cemetery rows. And I held my marido's head in my lap and I breathed on his face. Sabes que it was going to be okay, it's going to be okay. My face under the street light like a jade lamp and my voice like a wind chime declaring love. And then Donan came to me again last night in fragments of a dream. And it was our life together once. Me in the garden planting chili, him cutting and nailing boards for the herbs, Joaquin jumping on the back on the trampoline, illuminated red hot in my dream like jagged asteroids that flew through space in my sleep that nourished my heart for this journey. And then I dream of Joaquin, bits and pieces of a dream. I'm in the woods, I'm at the sea. I'm atop a mountain, opening my arms to embrace all of them with the growl of a jaguar woman. And they all fly toward me from outer space as if I'm on the center of life, the destination, the homeland. Now return to create a new life. And then at night, while women in the dorm crowd around the radio to hear news of their children, mostly disappeared, they serve stations with hosts accusing refugees of carrying diseases and infections, of being terrorists and drug dealers. There are young ones, 14, 15, 16-year-old that are drugged by the doctors and counselors working for ICE, and they're taken out to drink and party and return at dawn with new shoes and blouses and bracelets. And at the prison fence this morning, standing there thinking of my Joaquin, I feed a roadrunner. It's the only desert bird who taunts the rattler. Luring it forth, it expands its wings, idling inches from the snake until it whip lunges at it, and the roadrunner fakes in, skips back from the venomous fangs. It hops clear, then it snatches the snake by its beak, smashes its head against a stone and swallows it. The sleek gray feathers, the black spots, and the white edgings swoop in a single blink of an eye on brick walls over the bushes across the patrol path, agile as a supersized hummingbird. And I toss cooking scraps to it, dinner greens on the grass, and he eats tame as any yard dog. And I pray for that roadrunner to check out my 4-year-old Joaquin. Please go look for him and make sure he's safe. My 4-year-old Joaquin, now classified a criminal by the United States government. Please guard him against the snakes. And I tell the stones, you know what? He was once a preschool child, racketing the hallways, clacking his skates in his cubby, hugging his rain slicker on a wooden peg, stamping in the rain puddles with his galoshes. He grew wings at recess, and when the bell rang, he scudded back his desk, anxious to fly over the playground and perch on the merry-go-round like a quetzal bird in the rainforest. His heart's door hinges grimaced with the coming and going of so much happiness through him as he raced others to hopscotch under the shed, or soccer on the courts, or dangling on the monkey bars, or yelping down the slide. And then at the fence on another morning, I scream. I'm startled. And other women from the dorms run out thinking the worst. Someone shot her. Someone's broken something. But instead what happened was a hawk landed on the fence bar. Perched a few feet from my face, it studied me for minutes. A moment with no beginning or no end, me looking into the hawk's eyes. An infinite meeting of two travelers, me coming north. And in the hawk's eyes, all I had seen The desert, the forest, the seas, the fields, the cliffs. And because I was a child and I once lived in the rainforest, I bathed myself in mud pits used by Huichol ancestors, plastering mud on my small body. The hawk knew me, as it knows a tree or the air beneath its wings, and gave me in that moment all the lands it had soared over, leaving me a feather that had brushed against the sun. Anyway, it goes on and on. Thank you all very much for, I mean, what time is it? I know we have a schedule. I know, I'm a writer. I've only written all my life. I've taught at several schools, but I don't have schedules unless I make them. What time is it?
12:13.
Oh yeah, and we're here till 12:45? See? I think gives you guys about 2 minutes to ask questions. That's good, I like that. You get the irony, right? Good. Okay, guys, you're here, you're right in the middle of this whole freaking mess, right? You're here. You're right on it. And you should be doing either movies, writing books, writing essays. You should be dealing with racism. You should be dealing with injustices. You're right here. Right here. I mean, I have to travel all the way from Santa Fe, New Mexico, where I live in a beautiful multi-million-dollar pad, and get in this gorgeous car, and go all the way down to the border, dump the car, and stay out there for weeks at a time working with these people. But you're here. So what are you going to do? I've written films. I've done documentaries. I've written 2 other books about this issue. I just keep going. And all the poor people, all the educated people, all the academics, they all buy the books. But all the entitled, really super rich kids, the whites, the Asians, the Hispanics that are super rich, that make the policies and run the industries and do the corporation stuff, they don't read. You heard Trump say, I've never read a book in my life. I'm really proud of that. Well, by God, Trump, that's great. You know? My 13-year-old daughter's read about 100 books by now. But anyway, so listen. So you're not going to be activists. You have any questions? And then we'll sign some books if you dare to buy one of my books. Okay, any questions? Anybody? The worst thing is no questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question, but the worst thing is no questions. Yeah.
Do you find every state that you've traveled to, it's a similar feel of kind of a national level of depression and giving up, or is there re-energizing and activism back to life?
There's a lot of animosity now, man. I'm scheduled to go to the South. Never before in my life have I ever been invited to tour the universities in Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina. I had a Skype with all the preachers in the Baptist churches. They want to know if I can come out and we can start to talk about some sort of alliance, right? I'm like, well, this is so beautiful, man, but I'm like a little bit intimidated because I don't know what to do. But at least those people in North Carolina and Tennessee and Georgia and all, they're all getting up to start. They want to help the Latinos here, man. They want to help the Latinx people. They want to step it up. All these Baptist churches where Martin Luther King spoke, I'm supposed to go give sermons there. So they call sermons. I call them plática. You know, we have different cultural things, right? But they got thousands of people coming. And I'm not, I mean, I'll stick to the truth. I'm not intimidated. I'm okay. But it's the first time ever that I've really felt this incredible power of an alliance between the Latinx people and the black brothers and sisters of North Carolina. And guess who's organizing this? So I don't want you little spoiled little white kids to start freaking out like, oh. It's white people organizing this. I'm like, that is so cool. It's white people that stepped up and said, they called up the churches and said, can you do something? Can we do something? They said, yeah. So all these really powerful black people got together. Then they got a hold of me, right? I said, yeah, I'll come. And then when I asked who's organizing it on Skype, these beautiful white women, man, I'm like, wow, you ladies are amazing. Where do you get that kind of power? Right? And everybody loved each other on that Skype. I was like, God, man, it's going to be great when I get out there, right? I'm going to eat like a horse. You know? Yeah, so I'm going out there. I'm going to be visiting all the theaters. They're bringing a PBS company to film it. It's like crazy. And I think what happened was, here's how it goes. Look, the whole animosity between the races and stuff, there's a lot of white people that are hip, that get it, that step up and help us. But they're not. And we know where they stand. They're not by any means entitled little silver spoon idiots. They work next to us. They drive next to us. They go to the doctors next to us. They suffer the same things that we do. But for some reason, the white people suddenly don't want to ally with the Latinx or blacks. Why? It's what's going on here, you know? Because we know you are brothers and sisters. Why won't you march with me? Ain't nothing wrong with my no-haired head and your beautiful blonde hair. Shit, get over here. My wife is from Welsh country in northern England. Coolest eyes you ever saw in your life. She's out there marching every day. You don't even want to mess with a Welsh girl. She'll whip your ass so quick. That girl is like, whoo. Welsh mama to the bone, brother. And I wouldn't trade her for 1,000,000 people. She's so beautiful. Right? But I don't understand why you continue to absolve yourself of the responsibility of living separated like this. I've never seen it like this, ever. And I have companies where we do all kinds of stuff. I have a book company. We give out free books to all the barrios, all the poor projects, all the trader houses, all that stuff, you know. We've had it for a number of years, right? We sent out a whole battery of interns from Stanford, from Oxford, from the best schools in the country. They come out and they spend a few months with us, right? I also have a needle program, right? We send out brigades in the morning. And people are like, why do you do that? We go out to all the parks, at least as many as we can, and we pick up needles at 5 o'clock in the morning. So your dogs don't get stabbed, so your grandma doesn't get stabbed, so your kids don't get stabbed, right? And we've been doing this for years, right? And when I called up the mayor, that mayor said, we don't do that. We don't have anything to do with that. I said, well, what about the little girl, that little Mexican girl, her grandma took her walking and she stepped on a needle yesterday. Well, we don't know what to do. That's not our job. So that's when we all got together and said, we got to go pick up needles, guys. Let's do this. So we have needles programs now. We have literacy programs where I go to all the schools. And I could be making so much money in Hollywood right now. I could be making boo-hoo bucks. And I'm starting to get back into movies now, right? Starting to make them. But it took, I've been out 15 years now, except for the 2 documentaries I made that were huge hits on PBS. But now I'm out doing it. You know, I got white guys working for me. I got working with me. I got white women working with me. I got blacks and browns and Asians, and you know, and you know, and they sometimes they'll call me, "Dad, you're just a dirty Mexican, ain't you?" And some young little girl from some really entitled multi-million-dollar family goes, "Oh my God! Oh, he's gonna kill you! Oh my God! He just called you a dirty Mexican!" I'm like, "Girl, come here, white girl." She's been calling me dirty Mexican for 10 years now. I don't like that. Let's change that. So it's called, anyway, yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that I don't even know if you know how beautiful it is to get along. Because when I have 5 kids, right? All amazing kids, right? 3 graduated at the best schools in America based upon their own hard work. Man, my kids used to call me and say, "Papi, I need tuition, man." I ain't got it, man. I'm a poet. I ain't got it. They stayed 12 hours in the library every day. And now they're like doing so cool. Those stuff, they're amazing. My daughter in Philly, and mother too, amazing stuff, right? But when I used to take them to the daycare center, I used to live in Miami. I used to write, what's that show called? Miami Vice. I used to work for Miami Vice and write that show down in Miami, Coconut Grove. I'd take my kids down to the nursery, all kind of Asians and black kids and white kids. Not one of them yelled out, "Hey, you white boy," you know. There was no such thing as racism. It's taught, mostly by your parents. And then you recognize it in the system. And then because it entitles one group over another group, you begin to follow. Oh, if I'm white, Just like when I go to the airport, I go first class, right? I get in the first class, the first thing she does is offer me a glass of wine. I don't drink. I'm like, nah, it's okay. Well, you want food and stuff, like all this? You got huevos rancheros with green chili. No? You know? Sit out here. But the whole stereotypical thing, right? So I asked for huevos rancheros with green chili. What's so outlandish about that? They should have huevos rancheros. I'm a Chicano. My family's been here for 500 years. You think you could switch the menu up on American Airlines? Right? Or I get up from the bathroom and I'm sitting there making a sign on my seat, right? I go to the back, I go to the bathroom, right? And I'm in first class, right? I go to the back, somebody's in, I go to the front, somebody's in, I'm like, oh, shit, you know? So finally, somebody comes out, and then I put on the thing, brown people only, and I take it to the door. Called social experiment, right? I mean, don't get all crazy like some of those white guys in first got like, yeah. I'm like, just a social experiment. So I taped it, brown people only, and I taped it to the door. Do you realize that the old Hispanic guy in first class sitting up front went to the door like this? There's probably shit in his drawers, right? He's like this, and he goes, and he looks at the door and goes, oh. And then he takes off to the back. I'm like, what's going on with that? He ain't supposed to go to the back, he's supposed to go in there. I got a sign that says no white people or no Asians. This is only for brown people. But he won't go in. Guess what he does? The white guy stands up, looks at the sign on the door and rips it off. Social experiment, right? And I'm wondering in my notebook, why did the old man not go in? And why did the white guy tear off the sign? You know, you gotta be born with something that says you're entitled to that bathroom. To tear off the sign, right? So I could have just put out of order, right? You could have done the same thing. So that didn't work right. I'm like, I'm not smart enough for this social research crap, right? I better stick to poetry, right? So my mind starts weird because I smoke too much weed, right? So I'm sitting in, I actually don't smoke, but I'm sitting in my chair going like this, right? And I'm thinking about the bathroom, got a big white guy in a really expensive suit next to me, and this is what happens next. I'm sitting there going about the chair. Then I notice, oh, he just pushed my elbow 2 inches this way. Now we have a problem with how much of this armrest do I own? And how much armrest do you own? So I go like this, like scratch it, push my elbow back over 3 inches, right? Oh my God, here it goes. He's gonna push 4 inches back this way, right? Oh my God, and then he says to me, he looks at me and says, what do you do? I said, dude, I'm a drug dealer. Then he stops pushing my elbow. That was a good social research experiment. That worked. It shows that we believe what's media driven by corporations, right? The stereotypes, and we believe that stuff, right? So that worked out perfect, but I'm still stuck on that bathroom. I don't know why that old man turned away and walked off. I don't know. So anyway, okay, any questions?
Coming out of prison, what was your mindset? Where did you find your path to success, or like did you have influences that helped you along that way?
Oh, dude, that's a great question. Where was my mind at when I left prison? I mean, was that the question?
Yeah.
That's such a good question, man. Wow. That's such a good question. I was scared to death. I had no family. I was only 18 when I went in, you know. Did 6 years. I was scared to death, man. Scared. I had no education. I had written a book that was published by Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge. I wanted to go to school and be a teacher. There was no programs for me. I was terrified. I was lucky to meet a woman who was like, she was the only person that helped me. She was like amazing. You know, I went to go live with her. She had a beautiful house in the woods, and I needed the woods. Otherwise, I would have got back into crime right away. I needed to get away from people. I needed to be with somebody that could civilize me, and you know, like she told me something one day. She said it was really, really cold, you know. in Maine. I went to go live in Maine, New Hampshire and stuff. And it was freezing in that house when she went to work. She left the window open, right? And when she came back, she told me, why haven't you closed the window? And I was like, you know, you gotta tell me to close the window. I can't just close it. I'm so used to being told what to do, I couldn't even close the window, I'd let it freeze. And she's like, wow, dude, it's true, you won't do anything unless I tell you to do it. It's not because you're dumb, it's because you were conditioned so perfectly to obey the guards. And you stay here all day with that window wide open, and it's almost 10 below zero or something outside, you know? And to me, it was like, I gotta wait until she comes home to ask her if I can do it, you know? And then that's not the worst of it. The worst of it was when you're in prison and this beautiful woman starts to write you, right? And she's like, got everything in the world, but she's got money, house, everything on the ocean, right? Boats, everything. She loves you, adores you, and you move in with her. You just assume you're never gonna fight. I mean, the letters that you write each other, she is never, ever gonna get mad at you farting in bed. She is never, ever, ever gonna find fault with you, dude. You are like perfect, and so is she, right? And when you go and live with her, after about 2 weeks, she gets pissed because you're not washing the dishes because you don't know how to wash dishes because you haven't been told how to do it. So you put your coffee cup in your plate there, and she says, when the hell are you gonna wash your own damn dishes? And you freak out because that wasn't in the letters. This thing was supposed to be so beautiful that there would be no anger between you and her. And when she's now angry at you, you think, oh my God, the world's ending. And you don't get that this is just normal, dude. People fight every day, every hour. And that's called getting along with people and having a relationship, right? And it even, you know, sometimes you wake up in the morning, you look at the person you're sleeping with and go, how the hell did I end up with her? Or she looks at you and says, who the hell are you? I mean, how was I screwed up, drunk that bad to end up living with you? So you know what I'm saying? That's what relationships are made out of. Sometimes we can't even stand the person we're with. But as time goes on, we begin to appreciate them. We begin to do things for them. And that's called love. Not the in bed with that and lube with that, that's just whatever. With a line of cocaine, some good tequila, that'll take care of that shit quick, right? No, it's living out the longs, ups and downs, all the way down, right? When you wake up after a year, you realize you want to go open the door for her, you want to sweep the floor for her, you want to wash the dishes for her, you want to take her clothes to the dry cleaners for her, you want to get her hair done, you want to get her face done, you want to get her nails done. Why? Because you like her. And she feels good about herself. And then you might even start planning a vacation. I don't know, but that's what I did. That's what I went through. You know, I began to like this person a lot. And it took me 20 years, man, to realize, God, it's okay if she gets pissed at me. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. But that's the kind of stuff when I walk out of prison, none of us know any of that, dude. We are so screwed up. That's why we need you. Why do you keep turning your back on us guys through time? We're not gonna, yeah, there are some total assholes in that group. There are people that I wouldn't even spit at. They need to be put away and left put away. But the vast, vast majority of people in those prisons are just people who made bad choices. You get them away from drugs, get them away from alcohol, don't let them touch that shit. Because that's always been their refuge, always. Get them away from that. And just keep working with them emotionally. Get them into school. And teach them that they can do things on their own. You don't always have to be out there beck and call. You can do this. Fill out this application. Meet up in there. Put your name down. Right? I mean, if you can sell like 2 pounds of heroin every night, you know how to put your name down, pendejo. I mean, it takes a lot of brains, like a corporate Wall Street guy to sell heroin. Come on, it takes a 6th grader to put your name down, right? And then you have to sort of hold their hand. Believe me, I did a film of all the gang leaders, a documentary, and I did a workshop and had a big film crew there and stuff. And these are some of the biggest guys, the biggest leaders of some of the biggest gangs, and they would all go on camera. And I wanted them to go on camera, and they said, Santiago, I promise you, I haven't used drugs in 3 weeks since you came. I am done with that, man. because I got them to talking and writing stories about their familia and stuff, right? And each one of them came, and then the leader guy, this leader guy came up, and he was a big leader. He had about 10,000 guys in his gang or whatever. And he comes up and he walks in the room, and he was one of those guys like Muhammad Ali. He was a Chicano guy, Mexican guy, and he walks in, and he was just born beautiful. Just one of those guys, you know. He walks in the room, and if I was gay, I would have jumped all over that other man. But I'm not gay, right? But I was. But he walks in, and he looked like Muhammad Ali, just gorgeous while he walks in like gay. And all the guys are writing in my workshop, and he looks around and he says, I want you to do what this man says. This guy knows what he's doing, right? And he walks out. And I've been to California prisons where I did all the major hitters were in the rooms with me where I talked to them and stuff about education, right? But I looked at this guy, and he had, I didn't really notice it, but he had pockmarks on his face. And I didn't even notice it. I mean, if I was a gay guy, I'd kiss him. Just like if my wife had pockmarks, I'd kiss those, right? I just love the person. But he had pockmarks, right? And then I stopped him and I said, look, you could have been a great lawyer, you could have been a great corporate driver in the industry in New York City. I've lived in New York, I know that you could have been major, dude. The presence you have is phenomenal. What happened to you, Beto? Why'd you end up a gang leader? And then he said something that blew me away. And this really, it's an amazing thing about writing. He says, every morning I got up, my mom would get me ready for school and tell me, you are the best looking kid in the world. You know? And it's really funny, I did the same thing in Parral, Mexico, when I went to go interview the cartel people for Blood and Blood Out 2. They gave me the same story, but a different way. But this guy's mom, every morning, kissing, hugging, making his little lunch, packing in a little zipper thing. He had good lunches too, you know. You can tell, a body like that doesn't get bad lunches when you're a kid, right? So it doesn't lift weights either. He was naturally given that by God. So he says, I go to school one day, and I'm in class, and the girls are throwing notes, right, from one to the other, and he grabs a note, right, and he reads it. And the question is, who's the best looking guy in here, and who's the worst looking guy in here? Well, this kid grew up saying that he was the best looking guy. And then he saw his name at the bottom, that he was the ugliest one. He went out to lunch that day and beat a kid with a bat almost to death because his mom had lied to him that he was ugly. And so, everybody experiences shame. He just experienced it to a really deep level and went on to become a gang leader, you know? So mira, we got 8 minutes left. If you want me to sign books, I will, if you want to buy them. If you don't, that's okay. It's been a great pleasure meeting you, and I got to tell you, I would not have come. No way. Had that not been the work for this Mr. David, he kept emailing me, and I have other places I go to, you know, I live. And I usually don't want to come, unless, you know, whatever. He kept saying, fill out the work, and I'm like, no, I don't fill out the work. I give it to my assistant, right? And she followed him because he started bugging her. So all the paperwork got done, everybody signed this stuff, and then the next thing you know, my assistant comes and says, you got to be at the airport tomorrow. What? You're going to Chandler. Where the hell's Chandler? Oh, that place in Arizona where I was in prison? You're trying to tell me where in prison? So I told my wife, I told my assistant, I love you, I told my wife. I was kind of putting that out. But thanks, David, for getting me here. And I really enjoyed being here.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. Thank you, everybody. The books are there if you want to get some. And let's give him one more hand. One more hand. Sign in, please.
Yeah, just sign in.
This is the best seller. It really is. Hey, David, can I have these?
I have it, man.
Yeah, you don't think we have one, we do cash or credit? And I got it here. This is the one, that's what all this.
Hi.
I noticed you were recording, and just curious if we'd be able to
Oh, sure, yeah.
access this somehow. Where
Yeah,
would
let
we
me,
find it?
I'm a novice at this stuff, so I'll go back to the equipment room, office,
Yeah.
and I'll ask him to unload it, and then I'll see if I can load it down in one of those sticks and bring it to you. Or give it to David, and he'll bring it to you. Maybe I'll make two.